Hello, Martin. This is feedback for your task number 4. I have noted a couple of things that I'd like to talk to you about. First of all, in regards to what I think I said last time, I still need you to introduce the text a little bit more. You do have a title, which is very good, but we need a way of introducing the reader to the problems or the issues that you'll be talking about in the text. So more of that in order to guide the reader through. I have noted regarding your paragraphs that they work very well now. I think they are sort of, they have a logical structure and they progress in a logical way as well. So that is working very well as well. The thing that I'd like you to focus on from now on, basically, that would improve your written English and I suppose also your written Danish, is the phases of writing. There's a video that I have put a link for in the plan for English for this course, which you'll find in the folder called plans. And the video is called The Phases of Writing. Excuse me. And it just basically outlines the planning, the editing, and the proofreading of the text, and what it means for the final product that you do consider all 3 phases. For this text, I think it would have been a very good thing for you to have edited a bit more. First of all, when you go into the part of the text where you start to assess and discuss Breitenbauer, make it more clear that this is in fact what you're doing. That's also a linguistic task. If you remember me talking about linguistic tasks, that's basically about using your words in order to make it very clear to your reader what is going on. Use words like on the one hand or however. Another point of view might be, he says this, but you could also look at it from this point of view. So it makes it very, very obvious that this is now you speaking. You are now discussing, and then finally you have to assess what Breitenbauer or how the Danish comprehensive approach in relation to ISIL can be assessed using Breitenbach's theory, sorry. So be a little bit more sort of specific so that it's very obvious that you're discussing, very obvious that you are assessing. Because what we need is your voice, and it has to be a little bit more present in the text. So that's one thing you can do in editing. The other thing has to do with your choice of words and the way that you phrase your points. What I'm noticing is that you sometimes write sentences that become a little overly complicated, and sometimes you're not completely in control of them. So in some cases, the worst cases, the meaning becomes a little bit obscure. I'm just not certain what you're trying to say. So when you edit, be very critical of how you phrase your opinions, your points of views, and the information that you want the reader to understand. Is this precise enough? Is it readily understandable? The only way to do that, really, I think, is to leave the text for at least a couple of hours, preferably for a whole day, and go back and read it again. You need to allow time for all 3 phases: planning and writing, editing what you have written, and then proofreading towards the end. For you, it's important to edit because you do tend to write these overly complicated sentences that you're not in control of. So try and keep it simple. And you can also, a trick would be to vary your sentences between short sentences and longer sentences. That's quite a common thing to do anyway, because it creates variation. Stylistically, it works very well, but it's also a trick for you to be in control of the writing. So start with something simple, state the facts, then you can tie those sentences together, make longer sentences, etc. But keep it simple in the beginning, and then from that you can elaborate and be more sort of complicated, if you know what I mean. But start out with keeping it simple and be very precise and specific. And then from that point, you can start being a little bit more florid, a little bit more experimental, if you like. But for now, keep it simple. That will help you. So do that in the editing phase. Make sure that you are hitting the right taxonomical level. Make sure that everything's clear to the reader and you're not overcomplicating your sentence structures. Actually, there's no, you don't get points for being complicated in English. We do that in Danish academic tradition. It would seem that the more complicated you write, the better the academic. Not so in English. If you can write something that's complicated in a straightforward way, that is incredibly helpful and shows a great deal of understanding about your topic. If you can make it simple and precise. So you don't lose points for being a little bit more simplistic in your sentence structure. Outside of that, there are some grammatical errors that occur every now and again. If you want me to be specific about them, I can, but it would be much easier for me to sit with you with the text. So if you'd like me to do that, either we can try doing this via email, or we can perhaps, I'm planning to be at the final face-to-face session at Jonstrup, so we can sit down and look at it if you'd like to do that. But it's to do with sort of word classes, the use of the ing form, and some subject-verb agreement, not too much, but those two, the word classes and the use of the ing form, there are some issues there that could be improved upon. However, not something that we wouldn't expect to see at level 3, I would hasten to add. Yeah, so that's it for me now. Drop me an email if you need me to elaborate. Okay, bye.